Hello, everyone. This is the Core Fore. Basically, I'm part of a group of key individuals that help businesses grow their business. And I kind of wanted to bring this group to my channel just because I think there's a lot that people can learn from just watching from and hearing these people speak. They're all experts in their fields, and I think they have a lot to really showcase. So I'm kind of excited to bring them to my channel. This is on my channel. We also have the Core Fore channel, which is a separate channel, but this is on my channel. And we're going to give each of us are going to give a tip for businesses on how to grow their businesses in 2025. There's a lot of stuff happening this year. AI, the overlords are going to take us over any moment. We got to be ready for it. So there's a lot of things happening. We got to have some tips for that and how you can sort of navigate in this new world. I'm joined with, myself. I'm the SEO expert of the group, but I'm really somebody that can show you pretty much anything online in terms of your marketing, how to really build your businesses in terms of the marketing side. Next to me is Tova Gazen, and she is really somebody that can show you how to communicate better. How do you really speak to the different people that you might need to, like clients, your employees, the people that are going to make your business grow. So Tova, can you give a little bit more insight into yourself?
Sure. My name is Tova Gazen, and I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, which doesn't mean much to most of you, but in order to be a DTM or a distinguished Toastmaster, you have to help a lot of people speak and be a great leader. And it's about serving others, and not just personally, but in business. And one of the things that's really important with communication and presenting skills is that you have to have clarity. You have to be getting rid of all that fuzz and know exactly what it is you want to say. When you want to communicate, who is it you're talking to? Who are your key clients? I once spoke to somebody and they had no idea. They said, everyone. Your client isn't everyone. You have an avatar. You have a person in your mind that you can see. You can see how they're dressed. You can see what they look like. It's knowing what that effectiveness is and how to reach out to them. It's having that clear message. Thank you, Alan.
Okay, thanks. And we have Michael, who I'm not sure if this is an accurate way of calling him, but I think of him as the money man. Okay. It's great to have the SEO, the marketing all there, and, the communication all there. But if you don't have the money, there's just no business. So, Michael, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Michael Yasny, my company's Money Consultants, and I'm the business fixer. I help fix businesses from the financing point of view. So companies come to me that are brand new, they're growing too fast for their present financing, or actually they're in financial trouble. And I help them with the different kinds of financing out there, everything except a bank line of credit. I don't deal with a bank line of credit, but it's not important to have a bank line of credit. There are financings out there that it can help you grow your business as fast and as large as you want it. And then if you want, you can go to the bank after asking for less expensive money. But you never need the bank to grow your business. You never need to use the bank other than to have a place to deposit your money. So that's how I help companies grow their business with alternative financing when they need it, and all different kinds of alternative financing. Thanks, Alan.
Thanks. So, yeah, and their last member, not least, but we're all equals and we're all awesome, is Verid. Verid is, I don't know, I want to say jack of all trades, but really she's the one that does the coaching, the mentoring, the kind of helping businesses understand their own business in a way, really getting them to that next level. So yeah, it's. She has to wear many hats in doing that because she has to really understand businesses to achieve that effect. So I just see her as that guru, that person, that mentor that you need to really understand where to take your business and how to grow your business. So, Bear, can you give a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, thank you. That was quite the introduction. So I love being part of this group. So the Core Four is really your personal advisory group and your professional advisory group. So we help you in many ways that you wouldn't be able to access all of these amazing people if you didn't have them on board. So instead of having to hire your advisor, your coach, your consultant, your SEO guy, your public speaking, mentor, and your finance guy, and then of course me to pull it all together. Here we have this group that we've designed for you to be able to tap into whenever you want on demand. So it's a really great, unique way for you to have your advisory board on hand without having to shell out the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars when you don't have or don't want to spend it. So about me, I have Bistan Services, which is a full service concierge style management consulting agency. And I think that's why Alan was saying that it seems like I'm a jack of all trades. But although I do specialize in many areas, I work with amazing people like the ones you see right now that are able to deliver a lot of these services to you. And where I come in is I pull it all together. I take a deeper look into your business and really see what is going on behind the scenes that is maybe holding you back, or where you can take things and implement systems. And I don't mean just digital systems, which Alan can speak to as well, but more of like the internal systems that you're using and the way that you're running your business and the why of why you're running your business. And I think Tova and I overlap a little bit in this area, which is great for you because you get the best of both worlds or all worlds. But it's really understanding the foundational pieces. So I help you operate with clarity from a strong foundation for sustainable transformation and continuous growth. And that's both internally with your business and also internally from yourself. So personal development, professional development, business development. And I'm also a certified skills for success workplace practitioner. So I work, on that government curriculum as well, working with businesses all across Canada and globally, and a certified relational skills trainer. So, you're getting access to a lot of really great experts, and we will be bringing in other experts as well as needed that you can tap into. So I know BizStance, the way I created my business is through an ecosystem of people and services and resources that you can tap into, and we will bring that over here as well. Does that sort of explain it?
Great, that's great.
Good.
So I'm glad you actually kind of tied it in between yourself and what we are, the Core Fore. I think that's a really great explanation. One of the things that I want to achieve in this little session that we're doing, and we're going to do more of these, so I think this can be something more of a regular event that we do, is I really want people to. I see so many things happening this year, like just this year, like we're in Canada, but in the US, there's a new president. In Canada, there's a new prime minister. There's just so much change politically happening, tariffs and all these crazy things happening in our world. There's the advent of AI. There's just so much happening in the world today. And I feel like a lot of businesses are kind of like, what do I do? Like, can I still run my business the way I used to run it? And I kind of want to give some tips and some tricks that people can use that really will benefit them in this new world. So one tip that I'm going to give is I was actually, I kind of moonlight for myself, I guess, where I do webinars, where I teach people, I help small businesses grow by doing kind of webinars on building a business online. And today's webinar that I was doing was kind of fun because I was teaching people about UI and UX. And really UI and UX is how you get people to come into your website and then go from being that visitor that doesn't really want to buy anything to being a sale. How do you get them from that point to that point? And one of the things that I saw, this is a trick that most people don't even realize. It's so subtle, that you you wouldn't even know that it's happening. It's a trick that it's getting the psychological element of the viewer. What happens is if you go to a website, you'll see an image. Generally, it's called a hero image. It's the big image at the top of the screen. And that image is called the hero image because it does the heavy lifting of the website. It really encourages that person to engage with that website. Well, often what you can do is use a person's picture in that hero image. And here's the trick with it. Psychologically, humans, we like other humans. So we'll if you did like what's called a heat map of that page, you would find that there's a lot of heat around the face. Okay, people stare at the face. They stare at the eyes. They want to. I don't know. It's like we stare at the other animal. We like we got to look at that picture. We got to see it. And so the interesting thing is, if you look at the heat maps, especially around the eyes, you'll see that that's where the viewer will look. It'll look at the eyes of that image that's on this hero image. And here's the trick though. What they'll do if they are smart is they'll actually have that person that's on the hero image, instead of looking forward and looking at the user, they'll actually have them looking off to the side. And where they're looking is where you put your call to action. So what happens, and this has been shown in repeated studies, and like where they looked at heat maps and they saw that there's a lot of heat around that face, but where they look, whatever they look at has double the heat. So basically you can double your clicks on your call to action just by having an image of somebody just staring at that call to action. You can guide them over there. And it's people don't even realize that this is happening, but they just follow the eyes and you'll get double the clicks. Double the clicks means double the business. The whole idea is you want to have that call to action right there where you can convert them to a sale. And this is maybe not an SEO tip, but it is a psychological tip that will help your conversions and definitely build your business. It's just many of the tricks that I have under my sleeves, but but I figure this one is a good one for businesses where they can do something very, very simple. And it could be like, if you have a photo, just make sure their eyes are pointing to where you want them to point. That's simple. Sometimes it's the simple things that are the best things. So Tova, we'll work with you. You get to go next. What is your tip for businesses for 2025?
Your messaging. Thank you, Alan. And I feel like that cat that was with the clock, that eyes moved all over the place. That's what I was thinking about. Anyways, Alan's been a great mentor to me and a great colleague. And I have to tell you, working with Alan, I've learned so much. But in your messaging, you want to have a clear and concise idea of what it is you want to say. I believe it's sort of like a game of chess. You don't just start with, I have no idea what I'm doing. You have a board, and you need to know how to get to that end result. What is your end result? What is it you want to accomplish? And I think Vered said about your why. Why is it you're doing your business? Why is it that you want to get up in the morning each and every day and just have fun with what you're doing? Because when you're having fun, you're not working a day in your life. But your messaging shouldn't feel like a fire hose. It shouldn't be blah, 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 blah. I once listened to a CEO of a bank. I'm not going to say which bank, but it was a very large bank. And they were on stage gifting an award, and they were the keynote. And I felt so badly for them because they were umming and ahhing, and their under armpits, you could see their shirt had big stains on it. I wanted to go up there and give them a big hug and say, please let me help you. But they're making big money. It doesn't matter their messaging, and nobody listened to them. But I felt their pain. And it shouldn't be painful to give a presentation. And every single day you have to give a presentation. Whether you're talking with somebody just about that one sale, whether your service, whether you're doing an email or some sort of marketing plan, you have to have a message. And getting that message out in a clear, concise way is the business tip of the year. Knowing what your message is, not fire hosing it, and less is more. And if you're listening to your clients, which is very key, actively listen. What are they telling you? What do you want them to tell you? No, it's what you want to hear them say to you, and then really listen to them. And nobody's cookie cutter. We're not cookie cutter. It's Core Fore. We're not cookie cutters. We're not just the same monopoly type of hotels and houses. We are unique, but we're here to help you. Thank you, Ellen.
Thanks. So yeah, I mean that's a really because I'm an SEO guy, I can really relate to that. You know, a lot of the time the messaging, especially on websites, is totally disconnected from what people just search to get to that website. So messaging is so important, not just even what you say, but on your website, in your brochures, everything you do. So you want to be consistent from all those places. Definitely a great tip. So Michael, let's get into some money now. What's your big tip for businesses for 2025?
Well, everybody's concerned about their business, what's going to affect it from me, whether it's tariffs or sales or where they can sell. But the first thing you have to understand about how much should you sell your product for? Because you have to understand that it's none of your business how much your clients want to spend for your product or service. It's how much you need to charge in order to stay in business. And really, if nobody will pay it, you have to find a new business. You've got to look at that properly. And we're here to help you from all angles of your business, not just from the financing or the marketing or the SEO, but everything. And that's all included in figuring out how much you need to charge for your product in order to get out to market and make your business successful. You know, a lot of people come to me and ask, what's your interest rate? And I go, your interest rate doesn't matter. The financing matters. How much will your financing allow you to earn? So if you get bank financing and they don't allow you to earn money because they restrict how much business you can do because you've reached your limit, doesn't matter how cheap they are. They're costing you money. It's about how much money you're going to make at the end of the day, not how much interest it costs you. Because you can treat interest as a sales commission. And that's what you should look at it. It's just another commission of a salesperson you're paying. So don't worry about that. Also learn that sometimes saying no to an order, you make more money than you do if you take on that order. Money is key, and being able to preserve it and stretch it and understand it is how your business is going to succeed. So when you come to our Core Fore group, you're going to learn all about not just money, but about the rest of your business and how that all comes together to bring you to the best point you can be, and that is a profitable, successful financial business. So thank you, Alan, for letting me explain that.
Cool. Actually, I have a client that probably could use your services because there's two people in the company, and I had to tell this story because it's so related to what you just said. One guy is the financial guy. Like, he's the guy that holds the money for the company. He pays the bills. He does all that kind of stuff. The other guy is the sales guy. And they both have their objectives. The money guy's like, okay, this is how much stuff costs. and the sales guy is like, I just got to get customers. And often they don't connect. And so what happened was, let's say the money guy says this service costs $1,000. Well, the guy that's selling it, he's like, I'm going to try to get the client. I'll sell it for $500. And so what ends up happening is every time they get a client, they actually start losing money because they're paying more for the product. They don't understand that the very advice that you just gave, that you have to know that if you have a product, you got to be making money every time you sell that product. It doesn't make sense. You're not going to be in business for long if you're selling a product that you're losing money on. So great advice. You wouldn't believe how many businesses fail on that one point. It's insane.
That's correct. Absolutely. Yeah. I see it all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So we got into money. We got into getting that message. I gave a little bit of psychological stuff. Garrett, what do you have for businesses for 2025?
Yeah, those are all really great tips and points. And I think, tying it all together again is, bringing the psychological part of it with the practical part of it is incredibly powerful. because we need to know why we're charging what we're charging and how it's benefiting others. And we're talking about the messaging that Tova was saying, the clarity on that. We're not looking to sell, right? Like if we work on our mindset a little bit and we understand the value of what we're bringing to our clients, we're not really selling them anything. We are offering them and presenting them with an opportunity to grow, to make money, to help others, right? So when we're looking at our product or our service, what is our brand? What is our essence? What is it that we're trying to make better in the world? What problem are we trying to solve, right? If we're taking them from, one point to another, we're really showing them an experience that they can enjoy while they are creating something different for somebody else, right? Whether they're selling a product, whether they're giving a service, whatever it is that they're doing, somebody's buying a product because they want something different, or they want to make a change, or they want to fix, or whatever it is that you're solving, whatever issue is going on. If you think of it in sort of like a storytelling mode where you're just sharing information and you're showing them, okay, you're here, now you need to be there. How do we get from here to there, right? So that's the type of branding that I would love for companies to sort of adopt and take on and continue to grow with, because your branding should reflect your essence, right? Your messaging, your tonality, like just everything that is you, that is about you. And you should really, if you're branded as an expert in something, you should be able to transfer that no matter where you are, right? Because we all four of us, we live and breathe what we do. And no matter where we are, who we're in front of, what we're trying to convey, it's always going to be around the same type of messaging. And that is, we're here to help and serve, and we're here to help you be able to do the same thing, right? So when you think about it, you're looking at, okay, but if somebody lands on my website or on my page on LinkedIn or wherever it is that you're living online, what do they see? What do they read? What message am I conveying to them? And so that would be the same type of thing that they should be implementing for themselves, right? So that when somebody does come there, they understand why they're there. Maybe, like you said before, Alan, they're searching for a specific thing. When they get to you, like, how are you expanding on that? And how can you help them reach whatever goal they have? Or maybe they need to define their goal or decode it or whatever it is that they need to do. But how are you helping them at that point? So it's not so much of like a selling feature, but more of a helpful feature, more of a value-driven, as we say, future-driven leadership is all about value-driven leadership as well. Like, we need to make sure that we are serving others, not just selling to them.
Great. So yeah, I totally can relate to that, because one of the things that I found with my business, and this is sort of something that really was sort of the guiding light for my business, was I came up with the philosophy. And I think all businesses should have a core philosophy that they incorporate into their businesses. And my philosophy was the following: that my client's success, either from getting rankings or building their business, would lead to my success. And so that I put that into my everything, all my messaging, all my branding, I had that core philosophy incorporated. And I think a lot of businesses, they lack that vision, where they have that message that what am I? Like, if I'm Nike, it's just do it, right? You have that core messaging and philosophy that you incorporate in everything you do. And if you're consistent with that, people get it. People really, if they see that when you're talking on YouTube, if they see that on your website, if they see that in your Instagram, and you're always keeping that same consistent branding, they really can embrace it. And then it becomes you. You become, instead of being Kleenex, instead of being tissue, you're Kleenex. You're the thing. So I do totally agree with that. So I really want to say thank you to everyone. We're keeping this short and sweet. This is quick tips to really build your business for 2025. I'd like to just give a quick thank you for everyone that watched, and to Tova, Vered, and Michael for giving a little taste of what they're offering. And we're going to do this more, so you're going to get more free tips. And definitely check out the Core Fore. I'll put a link in the description. And there's seminars that are coming up that you might want to check out. So definitely check out those. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and wait for more of these. So it should be good. So bye, everyone.
Thank you.